Peace and light, YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm coming to you with a different kind of topic. I know I told you that this channel will be about real moments, real life, and real headlines. And it's going to be about all those things and some. But today, I'm starting my new segment called Real Talk. And this is where our real moments and our real life segment is going to take place. Now, I want you to remember, if you like what you see, come on in, watch my videos. I know I haven't did any live content yet. I am still working on my studio. So until then, you guys will just hear my voice. But if you're new to my channel, welcome. I wish you peace and blessings. And I want you to like, comment, and subscribe and turn on your notifications when I go live or when I upload, okay? So look, today I'm coming to you with a post. And in this video, I want to talk about, if you can't already tell by the thumbnail, about the title of this video. Today, I'm coming to you to talk to you about knowing when to close the doors.
Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors.
That's deep. Knowing when the season for something is up. A lot of times, you don't have to, be this devout Christian. You don't have to be a devout Buddhist. You don't have to be any of that. You could be spiritual. But a lot of times, you have to be in line and connected with yourself to know when the time for something is up. Why is it that us as human beings, we go on and we have become so attached to the physical realm, this physical being of just doing and just existing, that we no longer take a step back to stop and realize when the time is up, when the time is up and we need to put ourselves first. What's that caption that the social media trend with Taraji P. Henson?
I gotta put me first. I gotta put me first. I gotta put me first.
I gotta put me first, Lucius. Y'all, sometimes you have to know when to put yourself first. So I'm gonna give you all some tools, and I just want to break down some things on when you must close the door. I don't want to sound preachy, but I do believe in a higher power. And sometimes you have to be in touch with your emotions, yourself, your inner being to connect with something more than what we see on the physical realm. That's good, isn't it, y'all? I know. I'm not trying to be cocky either with that, y'all. So listen, I want to touch on knowing when to close the doors. I know I keep saying it and keep saying it. It could be whether it's a job. Knowing when to close the door on a job. How do you know? You might say, CT, well, how do I know when I should close the door on a job? Maybe that job is, bringing you a lot of headache. It's causing you stress. You can't sleep. You go to work, you come home, your mental health is all out of whack. There's no more room for you to grow. For an example, you guys, transparent moment. I had a job here recently, and I had to take a step back from this job due to some medical reasons. And before this, this life, unexpected illness came upon me, I have been telling people, my close friends, my spiritual teachers, and just people I talk to and confide to, and people that pour into me and I pour into them. I have been telling them, I'm not growing at this job. I'm not learning at this job. I've just become complacent. And when you become complacent, that's a deadly place and a dangerous place to be. Because why do you want to stay somewhere where you no longer have any growth? So what I had to do was I had to take a step back and reevaluate, is this job, worth my sanity, worth me not growing, worth me no longer being able to learn and me feeling undervalued? And, I couldn't just up and quit the job. Even though I took a leave of absence, I just couldn't up and quit the job. But I told myself, I know all of these things are happening at this particular job. And, I know I need to make a change, but I just don't know how. You guys want to know what happened? How about the job fired me? Isn't that funny? I mean, at the time, now, I'm going to be real with y'all, I was pretty hurt that my job fired me. I mean, I had never been fired from a job ever in my life, you guys. Especially when I did all the proper things and put all the proper precautions, as I told you while I was going through a temporary illness. But my season was up at that job and I knew it was time to close the door, but I kept holding on to the door. So because I kept holding on to the door did what? It closed for me. It closed itself for me. I kept holding on and holding on, and the time was up. So since I wouldn't walk out the door closed. We have to get to the place as human beings to realize everything happens for a reason. And at the time, things might hurt, but they are for the best. Another example I'll give you is closing the door on a relationship or a friendship. How, you might say, CT, how do I know it's time to close the door on this relationship or on this friendship? You know to close the doors on a relationship or a friendship is when you start feeling drained, when things, just small issues start to take place and, they escalate to another place they don't need to go. You know when to close the doors when, I'm this kind of friend, you guys. I have a true policy. I never want my friends to blow smoke up my ass. I want you to be truthful with me. If I messed up, I am man enough to apologize and say I messed up. A lot of times you will find in people, they no longer like taking accountability for what they have done or what they have said or how they have made you feel. But it's okay for them to tell you how you made them feel. Isn't that something, guys? So you must know when to close the door. Another way you will know to close the door on a relationship or a friendship, like I said, you might feel that it's one-sided. You might feel that boundaries are crossed. You might feel like you just simply outgrown the relationship. or the friendship. Trust might be broken if it's a really intimate relationship with your girlfriend or your boyfriend. You might feel like you are unheard, or you might feel like you're unsafe. You can't trust that person with your feelings. You can't trust that person with your emotions. That is when you must know to close the door. Isn't that something? Know when to close the door so you are not hurt in the end. I want to leave you all with this one thing. Everything that happens in our lives happen for a reason. And we must be honest with ourselves first, because if you can't be honest with yourself, you can't expect people to be honest with you. Know when to close the door so you are not hurt. Everything happens for a reason. You might feel like, why is this happening? Why did it have to take place like this? But everything happened for a reason. And it's up to you to look within to know why it had to happen that way. Everybody can't go with you on your journey. And that's okay. It's okay to leave a relationship. It's okay to leave a job. It's okay to leave a friendship. It's okay to close the doors. And you know what? Closing the doors may bring you some heartache. Mm-hmm. It may bring you some pain. But you know what? I'd rather leave broken than in pieces. Y'all drop me some rocket ships in the bottom of my comment section if I ain't preaching today. But today's message is know when to close the door, know when to walk away.
Close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors.
Because if you don't, it will just leave you in pieces. And you should rather be broken than in pieces. Because guess what? You can mend that broken heart. You've done it 1,000 times. Look at all the relationships that you've walked out on, people that walked out on you, people that talked about you, people that maligned your name. You could do it. That's nothing. You know how to get past that. So close the doors and be happy with the life you have, because we only get one. Now, y'all remember, I am the real CT, where I'm going to bring you nothing but real moments, real life, and real headlines. I will see you all in the next video.